Good afternoon. This is video log entry 173. It's about 2 p.m. CST. I have my afternoon coffee, and yeah, I been doing pretty much my normal stuff, and a lot of thinking this morning, and I was looking for jobs again, and looking at different AI trainer positions and whatnot, and seeing what I would have to do to get into something like that, to break into the industry for AI trainers, and I have some relatively transferable skills for being an AI trainer, but I also don't have any knowledge of AI as much as I'd like to, other than the underpinnings of the theory of AI, but that doesn't necessarily translate to somebody that's just training artificial intelligence. You don't have to know the theory, but yeah, so I mean, I was thinking about applying for some jobs like that once I get again, this is just a lot of rumination, not rumination, brainstorming of different ideas as opposed to being a technical writer. Of course, for prompt engineers and people always talk about content writing. I'm not necessarily interested into the writing stuff, and I'm still thinking about those things, although I'm trying not to think about it too much, and which is why I've been kind of curating my profiles for the main websites for looking for different jobs, whether it's remote or just standard jobs. That's for that ties into the service industry. I need to slow down with my talking. I tend to talk too fast for my brain to properly come up with the right words. So it's, yeah, anyways. So, I mean, I've just been tailoring my profiles a little bit. And also, like, I tend to think about different algorithms and whatnot, and yeah, I don't know. It's more personal stuff because my brain's always trying to think of systematizing and creating the best, most efficient system to doing a given task, no matter how simple it may be, even if it pertains to applying for a job or multiple jobs between multiple fields and whatnot. And yeah, so I mean, my brain's always the cogs are always spinning in my head, so it's kind of hard to stop it at times. I mean, I am drinking coffee. Afternoon coffee really enhances my focus. I mean, it's considered to be a nootropic after all. So, yeah. So, aside from that, I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of fun music. I remember finding Lambrini Girls are a British punk band, modern British punk band, and I found them on the radio. Like I said, it was like 105 point something, and they have a lot of interesting music. It's a little bit raunchy, but I think it's hysterical and comical in my opinion, so I do like listening to them. And I tend to listen to a lot of rap as well, which is also surprising. It was like somewhat people, every time I mention they listen to rap and punk, they're always surprised to hear it, but I listen to that kind of stuff. I don't listen to Cupcake, or I don't listen to Doja Cat or any of the more raunchy rap. The female rappers that are just saying basically whatever the hell they want. Like I guess, who was the person who started that? Cardi B, was it? WAP WAP. I think that was like one of the first ones and then like a bunch of female rappers kind of hopped on that trend, like Cupcake, and of course Doja Cat does her interesting stuff. And who's the other one? There's another one that I'm thinking of. There's somebody else I can't think of right now. God damn it. Who was the other person that I was thinking of? Oh, Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah, she's also very popular. But I've listened to some of it because one of my friends showed them to me, because, again, I probably wouldn't have heard of it until somebody else showed it, because I just, like, I'm way out of the loop when it comes to that kind of stuff. I typically listen to stuff like Connor Price, Josh A, like I Am J Kill as well, like white boy rap stuff. And F is fun at times too, and I like Netflix as well. I guess Eminem is cool. A bunch of white boy rap, and sometimes listen to Kendrick Lamar and Kanye West. I like rap. I like rap in general. I mean, again, like some days I'm in the mood to listen to electronic music, but if I'm really just in the mood to get myself into a more upbeat mood, I listen to rap. And when I was younger, I listened to Lil Wayne, a bunch of other rappers in high school. And again, it's like kind of surprising for somebody that seems to be like the stereotypical nerd I guess I was a stereotypical nerd in my school. I wasn't necessarily as outspoken as other people, and I was quiet and generally seen as relatively smart. So they you get kind of thrown into that classification of being the nerd in your school, and not in a bad way. I think people were chill with me, and nobody was really like aggressive towards me in any way. I mean, I didn't really have anybody that attempted to bully me, and yeah, everybody was nice. Maybe, I don't know, sometimes I social cues go above my head, so maybe I didn't see things. But most of the time, people were just very nice to me. Um, I mean, here and there, I mean, I've had people that were trying to, just get on my bad side, and when people see somebody like me that's considered to be, or seen as a doormat, or somebody that seems a little bit more reserved, they like to push people's buttons and see how far they can, push them to the edge before they blow up and whatnot. So I mean, yeah, I mean that's also pretty normal. Yeah. So yeah, Connor, I like those guys. They're fun to listen to. Was there somebody else I was thinking of? IMJ Kill, Connor Price. I think those are the big ones that I listen to. Let me see I have a playlist of music I made on YouTube. Let me see. How do I see up next? I think I mentioned everybody. Oh yeah, Watsky. I forgot to mention Watsky, but he's pretty well known. And then I have like some League of Legends music, and I guess yeah, Blackway's also pretty good. And then there's like this guy named 100 Gex or band, I guess, or a band. Yeah, I mean those are the guys I typically listen to, and 100 Gex is interesting. It's what I don't even know like how to. It's like a mixture of rock and it's kind of punkish, but it's also mixed with electronic music, and they're also kind of quote unquote raunchy. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I just been listening to music a lot recently. It keeps me in a good mood, I guess. Um, doesn't hurt to be positive, so and that keeps me in a positive mood for the most part. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I just felt like sharing that for whatever reason. I was just because I guess the reason why is because I was just listening to my playlist. I call it the White Boy Rap playlist. It's fun. Um, yeah, I don't know. I also recreated another schedule because I like creating schedules for myself to see how much I can actually get myself to do it. And I guess baby steps for the most part is when you're kind of like creating a new schedule is to start small and fill in those. I guess the best way to do is if you have like work periods. For me, I like having work periods from 7 to 11. I usually get up at 6 in the morning. I got up at around 8, but usually I do 7 to 11 as a quote unquote work period, just no phone period. So, I mean, of course, you can't always, people use a Pomodoro technique, and then people who are just not really accustomed to working tend to have trouble focusing because they have to get themselves back into that quote unquote mojo of doing it. So, that's just basically a think, think tape slash busy time period that I had to be in without using my phone, so no distractions or anything like that. And I kind of work and I think about things that are important to me, which is making money and creating some kind of income and looking for jobs and thinking of different ways I could try to make money and just trying to find different ways in the morning. It's that seems to be a little bit less interesting to me. Actually, it seems to be more interesting for me because I kind of pushed that to the side and then I started and I was more focused on that than actually programming because I'm still looking for a job. And then the other period that I have, okay, I guess it's going to be 7-11 is when I'm working. Then I have 11-12, which is my break / lunch period because I do intermittent fasting. I wait to eat until around 11. It's 11 to 7 for my eating period. So at the very least, I'll be eating at 7. And then 12 to 4 or 1 to 5, I will be doing more work. And that's probably going to be like programming and more hobby stuff, quote unquote work. But it's, still something I don't want to make myself do, but I have to do because even though it's like any interest they have, right? Like there's still sluggish moments you have to go through with any hobby that you have, right? If you want to at least create some kind of product or have something that's that actually comes into fruition in this world. So yeah, of course, like anything else. But yeah, so 12 to 4 and then 4 to 5 is usually the time I work out. That's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I have another break between 5 to 6, and then 6 to 9. It's like kind of relaxing, reading, playing video games maybe, although I'd rather just keep my video games for the weekends. So what I may do is actually just have that period for reading and maybe learning something like taking a class in artificial intelligence, since I'm now thinking about that. And they have a lot of artificial intelligence courses on the web. A big one is from Andrew Ng. I don't know how to say that. Ng? I don't know. So I'm sure if anybody is relatively interested in artificial intelligence and its underpinnings, and anybody, you take that course on Coursera and it's free, I believe. And then they have a Harvard one with it's artificial intelligence with Python, and I think the framework that they use is both PyTorch and TensorFlow. So that's another thing to look at for me. And I actually have a folder for the courses that I'll be taking during those time chunks and whatnot. So a folder in my Chromium browser that I have on my laptop. So aside from that, I have a lot of books I want to read as well. So again, those periods are going to be like more absorbing conceptual information, and then my active periods are going to be as long as I'm not having a job. I want to have 2 4-hour time chunks in which I'm active, like actually being active as much as I can, as opposed to being in my head and absorbing conceptual information. So yeah, that's how I want it to be like. So it works for me, right? I mean, of course, like anybody else, you just have to play around with what works for your brain. And it seems I've done this so many times in which I'm starting to find a schedule that kind of works with the preferences of my brain to have it functioning optimally and pragmatically within this world. So yeah, but that's obviously during the time in which I don't have a job. So I'm probably working part-time. I hope I get a part-time job pretty soon because kind of need one as of now. And I'm hoping it's for the city, but I have other safety nets that I'm willing to do, although I'd rather just work for the city because it's a lot more laid back. And I've worked in the food service industry before, and that's not fun, obviously. I don't care about retail. Retail's kind of boring, and although I'd never had a retail job before, but maybe as a supervisor, I don't know, it seems kind of boring. Obviously, I don't think anybody would think a retail job would be interesting to any extent. Maybe if you're into, like, I don't know, the logistics of retail, then as a manager, maybe it'd be interesting crunching numbers, but I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Just a lot of thinking mainly, and just thinking about money and all that good jazz, and yeah. So what else? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of other stuff that I have been thinking about. It's just like my head is always running that. It's hard to keep track of all of it and write notes on it. So let me see. I don't know. I guess I haven't really been using my notebook because again, like it's just like hard to keep up with my brain at times. So which is why I like doing these videos, because at least my mouth runs faster than how fast I write. So the words per minute is faster when I'm vocalizing. So I don't know. It's just like writing a lot of stuff. I wrote another schedule, like I said, and then I also wrote on my whiteboard because I thought this would work better than in comparison to what I have had before, and so I had to do that apparently. If I guess like I always think about like I'm a kind of I don't like to say I'm a lazy person, but if I can get away with working smarter than harder, then I will. And I always think about like transferable skills that I can work on as of now, that will be easily transferable to the modern world. And I think especially with artificial intelligence, people who are more specialized in hard skills, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to transfer into the modern world because they never really focus on developing their soft skills. So I'm still cultivating my soft skills by being existing and then just having odd jobs and being able to be somewhat mechanically inclined as opposed to socializing with people, and general communication. Writing skills is always good. Being generally creative and being able to brainstorm properly is also really good. And just having an imagination is also a good thing to have, obviously, and in places in which the artificial intelligence wouldn't be able to take you, and that's one of them, obviously, for now at least. And of course, people talk about the trades and whatnot, right? Like, how are you going to get artificial intelligence to put pipes together for a water system in a building, right? It's like, how are you going to get something to do that? And I mean, sure, there are there are buildings that actually you can 3D print buildings nowadays and houses and whatnot. I think Elon Musk had a 3D printed home for his office or whatever, and that's where he sleeps, and it's very small and whatnot. It's like, of course, he'd have every single space efficiently maximized to it. Like he just, yeah, of course, that's how his brain thinks. I can relate with him in that aspect because my home is really small because I was like, I don't need a lot of square footage to exist on this planet. So, I mean, yeah, and then I can go outside if I feel suffocated in my own place, and it's a good way to incentivize yourself to do that. So, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like compact environments. I was weird as a kid. I don't know, I would always put a blanket under one of my parents' foldable table, and I'd hide under there because it made me more comfortable for whatever reason. I thought it was fun. I put a lamp at the bottom of the foldable table, and I would just read or something, or just hang out and hide. I don't know why I did that, but I did when I was younger. It was fun. It felt like a tent, I guess. So yeah, and there has to be something else that I've been thinking about. Oh yeah, I'm a systematizer, so I'm trying to play video games with more intention. So I think Guild Wars 2 is primarily just going to be me doing, I think I talked about this already, but me doing story, and then probably working on gearing up my characters because I don't have ascended gear on any of them actually. So on the weekends, I'm probably just going to be focused on that, and I'm going to keep that for the weekends. I think that's going to be my laid back period where I just feel, I don't want to keep myself busy all the time, and that seems not necessarily the funnest or most exciting thing, but it's laid back and I get to relax. And I'm not sure about PvP because I don't know, the meta has advanced so much to the point, like, I haven't touched it for 6 months, and I would have to get reacquainted with what the meta is and all that if I want to do SPVP. But again, most of the time I kind of, I kind of fool around. I do, like, there was another word, tomfoolery. Why am I thinking about I don't know. There's another, I dig around on, in unranked PvP, and, yeah, I don't know. Like, I just feel like I feel like I have to have some controls. I want to be relatively knowledgeable about a lot of the meta stuff because people like to bring the meta to unranked to test their builds, or just kind of, if they're fairly competitive people, they like to kind of procrastinate it in unranked and then they go back to ranked and whatnot, and that gets annoying. And then you get a lot of duo people as well who play meta builds, and it's just frustrating. I like the game is a mess to the point in which I'm not sure if it's repairable, no matter how much ArenaNet tries to pull in new players, because it's just the polarity between people who have been playing the game for more than 10,000 hours versus the newer players that are coming in due to the recent slew of expansion packs is pretty big. So you get a lot of like platinum and legendary players being pulled together with poor, like, bronze, maybe not bronze, but silver and gold players, and that's just sad to see, which is why I liked unranked. I get tired of having to, I don't know. I used to be pessimistic about the state of the PvP realm, but maybe it's gotten better. I haven't necessarily looked at it because I've been so busy with just thinking about the game. I think about thinking all the time. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. So I'll probably do that. And again, I think, did I do that? Did I play yesterday? I don't know. I don't think I played yesterday. Did I play yesterday? I think I tried to play, and then I couldn't get myself into it because, again, I don't have a goal in mind, and I used to kind of just lollygag. Lollygag was the word I was looking for, and it came back to me, lollygag. I used to lollygag in that game a lot, and I got tired of it. I tend to be more goal-oriented in the world nowadays, so I'm transferring that into games too, apparently. And I think that's good because it does keep your brain active, and it enhances executive functioning, and so it does have benefits and whatnot. And I know people like to say games aren't necessarily good for your brain, but that depends on, like, who has it control. Does the game have control over you, or do you have control over the game, right? You have to be honest with yourself about that. So yeah, so again, in, like, quote unquote sandbox games, Guild Wars 2 isn't really sandbox, but it's open world and you have a lot of control. They give you a lot of control. It's not linear. So yeah, so where was I going with that? I don't know. But yeah, again, I was just saying that I need to impose a goal system for that because it's just bothering the shit out of me. I can't get myself into unless I have a goal system in the game now. So I think I'm just going to gear my characters. And the question is, I don't know which character I'm going to start on. I think I'm going to start on the character that I found to be most interesting as of now, and it's Elementalist. So I'll probably just play Elementalist, and maybe I'm thinking there are a lot of collections as well that are fun, and it lets you go all throughout the different maps in the game. So maybe I'll do a collection. They have collection forest and a year as well, and I was doing my winterberry hunting stuff as usual. And yeah, so I think I'm going to. I think I'll do collections, and I'll do some story stuff kind of mixed in with that, and maybe some world versus world if maybe during prime time. So it's going to be around like 6 or 7 during the weekends when it's a lot more active and you have more players and there's actually a commander on the map. I don't like commanding. I do have enough experience for commanding, but I also just don't. I don't like having to be on the wheel and telling people what to do and all that. I also get frustrated easily, and maybe it's performance anxiety too. I don't know, but yeah, I prefer not to have to command. Yeah, so I do have a commander's tag too. How much gold did I spent? Like almost 300 gold when it was that much. I think it went from 300 gold to 100 gold or something, and I was kind of disappointed that because between when they made it 300 gold and when it became 100 gold, I actually didn't use it much, so I kind of wasted my gold on that. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just, it is what it is, and I think I'm just going to focus on PvE stuff. I'm too much of a, I'm considered to be a zoomer, but you know, I'm kind of, what's that word? Boomer inspired zoomer. I don't know. Sometimes I have like phrases in my head that don't like quite surface into my head. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, I'm a boomer inspired zoomer, I guess. Yeah, so I just yeah, I'm just laid back, I guess. I'm not really into the PvP stuff anymore. I was never like super serious about that, but you know, it was still fun, and if I find something interesting to play, then I'll do a few unranked stuff. And if I have somebody else to play with, most likely I'd probably be more inclined to do it. It's just I haven't, like, every time I go on, I don't really see any friends that are interested in PvP, so it's whatever. Yeah. So I'm thinking. Of course I'm thinking. But yeah, so I think that's good. I think, yeah, story, gearing, collections, and maybe some PvP and world versus world here and there. For now, at least, until I have a good reason to work for something else. Maybe, I mean, like, of course, Guild Wars 2 is all about the aesthetics, so of course, if I find a piece of gear that seems like it's worth my time to get, then I'll obviously work on that. I usually don't spend money on the gym store, but they have a lot of achievements tying to different skins, which I love it when Guild Wars 2 does that because they incentivize you to actually, you know, you have like, I don't know, I just like it because it makes you go throughout all of the maps and you get to explore different places you have either forgotten about or haven't been to, and it's just kind of fun because, I mean, it also creates more liveliness in the maps too and whatnot, and you get to see new players or even older players, and it makes it more vibrant. So I like it when they have collections pertaining to just being incentivized to run around the maps. And you know, that's great in all too. And I'm not sure. I think they have had the idea of keeping these maps more vibrant by maybe having expansion packs that make people go back to those maps pertaining to the story, and having achievements pertaining to the story, and maybe it could be collections and stories. Maybe it could be, you know, achievements tied to the stories as well, which are also fun to do. And I'm sure they're pretty creative. I haven't looked at it as much as I'd like to because I haven't played, like, I think my mastery is like 250 mastery level. So yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to talk about. Bye.